I finally made it down to my first Oogie Boogie Bash since it started 6 years ago. Every Halloween season, I drive down to Disneyland, but I always plan it at the last minute due to work, so the event's been sold out every time I'm there. Except this year when I was actually able to plan ahead and get tickets. I am so excited to finally get the full Disneyland Halloween experience. Follow me as I explore what I liked, what I loved, and what I hated at my first Oogie Boogie Bash.
It is 6 o'clock. Oogie Boogie Bash has begun. They just did the whole announcement with Oogie Boogie and all the music. It's a little weird because the sun is still high up, it's hot out, but it will get dark in about 45 minutes or so, which will really set the tone. Until then, I'll make my first drink of the night, a beer over at the Hollywood Lounge. And yes, maybe I was over at Trader Sam's before this pre-gaming. Maybe I had a zombie and a funky bird. Maybe I'm already a little buzzed. But yeah, let's keep this party going. It is Oogie Boogie Bash, right? Let's go. First drink of Oogie Boogie, the Phantom Bride IPA from Belching Beaver out of San Diego. I'm totally an IPA guy, so this is probably delicious. Yeah, that is super crisp, very bright, very citrus forward, and not very bitter for an IPA. Super delicious. I'm still hot. I'm covered in sweat. This is going to cool me down. I look forward to 10 more cocktails tonight. Cheers.
Little did I know, this would be my final drink of the night. I got so busy trying to experience everything that I didn't have enough time for anything else. This is my first complaint. Oogie Boogie only lasts 5 hours a night, from 6 p.m. to 11, and in the early months when the sun doesn't go down until 7:30, it really narrows the window you can experience everything. I really wish it went to at least midnight. 1 a.m. would be so much better.
It's still pretty bright out, so I'm just wandering California Adventures, waiting for the sun to go down, because for me, Oogie Boogie Bash, spooky time, none of that actually starts until it's dark outside. So I'm just walking around, taking the sights in. You can kind of see what it's going to look like. They already have the fog machines going, they have some lights up, but right now it's just regular California Adventures in the fall time. But in about 35 minutes, it's going to transform, and I cannot wait to see it for my first time.
If I'm going to be honest, I wasn't too disappointed wandering the park. On any normal day at Disneyland, golden hour is my favorite time. When the sun begins to dip behind the horizon, there's a warm glow across everything, and the tallest peaks get those final rays of sunshine. It's absolutely magical, and in my opinion, it's the best time to sit back and get lost in the ambiance.
I just have to say, one of the things I really love about Oogie Boogie Bash is all of the costumes. There are so many people in costumes, and what I really love is all the couples costumes. It makes me really wish Bree was here, in costume with me. I'm obviously not in costume. That seems silly to do by myself, especially with all the filming, but people coming to the park in their favorite villain or Halloween costumes is so much fun, and it just adds so much more magic, so much more ambience, and I love it.
Before the sun sets, I should probably talk about my expectations. I've been to Disneyland event nights before, as well as Not Scary Farm, Six Flags Fright Fest, and more haunted houses than a sane person should. Hell, I've helped build them out. The biggest thing I was looking forward to was the transformation of the park through creative lighting, fog, props, creative scenes, and characters wandering around. I wanted to experience California Adventures in a new and spooky way.
Finally, the sun set. It is now dark. It's spooky. For me, Oogie Boogie Bash has begun. Let's take a tour of the place and see what's going on.
Now that Oogie Boogie Bash is in full swing, all the lights are on, all the effects are out, I wanted to take another tour and really soak it all in and see what really is different on Oogie Boogie night versus your standard Halloween night. This is when my excitement for Oogie Boogie Bash started to clash with reality. I had expected a bigger transformation, something you might get at Fright Fest, Not Scary Farm, or even your local pumpkin patch that turns into a haunted house at night. I wanted walkways and alcoves getting swallowed by fog, dramatic and creepy lighting, different set pieces and props, creepy characters wandering around. But the biggest change really was the music, a little lighting, light fog in a couple places, and the now famous projections on Carthay Circle, which to be honest, are pretty amazing. After that quick tour around the park, I ran over to find a spot for the parade, which started at 7:45. Seeing the Headless Horseman has been on my Disney bucket list for as long as I can remember, and he did not disappoint. Every fall, I reread The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and rewatch all the various film adaptations. I really loved how Ichabod Crane and his fellow dancers timidly waltzed their way up the parade route. It really captured the animation in Disney's 1949 film. The Headless Horseman slowly creeping up from behind was just so unsettling and whimsical. The floats and characters that followed were fantastic. I especially loved the Nightmare Before Christmas floats. But my absolute favorite was the Haunted Mansion Gravediggers and the Haunted Mansion float, despite it being a little smaller than the rest. The Oogie Boogie Parade was fantastic, and if I ever make it back to Oogie Boogie, it's definitely something I'm going to do. From the parade, I made my way to the much anticipated Villains Grove at the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, and couldn't wait to experience it myself. The extensive line wrapped from the Redwood Creek Trail all the way to the airplane at Condor Flats, and from there, it only got more crowded. This walkthrough could have been spectacular. The lights and projections are dazzling. However, the entire walkthrough was packed shoulder to shoulder, spending most of our time crammed together waiting to move. This might be my biggest disappointment, because I could clearly see how great and spooky this walkthrough would be if it weren't so crowded. It's obvious the Imagineers spent a lot of time and thought making this trail special. Being packed together like the foyer of the Haunted Mansion in the middle of summer robs the trail of any ambiance it otherwise would have had. After this disappointment, I thought I might drown myself in candy by hitting up the treat trails. To be honest, I don't really care that much about the candy. I really just wanted to see the villains. There are a total of 12 treat trails, each leading to a different Disney villain, and I love that concept. Before I dive into the characters, I just want to say some variety in the treats would be nice. When I went, each trail was handing out basically one of 4 different candies. Again, I really dig the concept, but the execution felt very, very streamlined, especially for the popular trails like Ernesto de la Cruz, where they were literally slinging out candy as fast as they could. And now the characters. This is one of my favorite things about the event. There are so many characters that never make an appearance outside of Oogie Boogie Bash, and for some people, that's definitely worth the price of admission. I was a little surprised to see Meg from Hercules. She's not really a villain, but she was my childhood crush, so it was pretty awesome. Every character was perfect. Standouts would be Maleficent, who brought that brooding boss queen spookiness, Hades, who bantered with the crowd, delivering one-line zingers, Oogie Boogie, who perfectly embodied the Tim Burton character, and of course, Ernesto de la Cruz, who is on another level. Not only did he personify the character to a T, his interactions with children were amazing. He would switch between English and Spanish depending on who he was talking to. He had the charm, the charisma, and that edge that Benjamin Bratt brought to the character. Hats off to whoever's performing him.
And like that, my first ever Oogie Boogie is over. That was a really quick 5 hours. It's challenging to get everything fit in that time period. I did the best I could. I have a lot of thoughts, some good, some bad, some weird. Let's go talk about it.
Oogie Boogie Bash is fun, especially if you go in with the right expectations. But is it worth $150 a night? Well, a little less or a little more depending on the night, I suppose. Personally, I think that's a hard no. That's a lot of money for 5 hours of an event that really doesn't feel that much different than a normal Halloween night. Sure, the music's a little different and you get to meet the characters, but really that's about it. Personally, I would prefer they nix the treat trails and just have this going every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights as part of the regular Halloween festivities. Or double down and spend a little more time, a little more effort, creating a darker, more interesting and spooky experience where people don't spend most of their time just standing shoulder to shoulder waiting when the event's only 5 hours long. This is such a great opportunity for Disney fans to experience their beloved parks in a different light. Literally, more fog, more lighting, more special scenes and decor, more roaming characters, more would be more. This just feels like a cheap cash grab, knowing that us Disney nuts will pay to go to these events no matter how underwhelming they may be. This, of course, was just my experience, and I would love to hear your thoughts. What you love about Oogie Boogie Bash, or what would you change? If you were there this year, let me know how it's different from years past. This review does in no way diminish my love or passion for the Disney parks, and I can't wait to head back down mid-November to experience it during the holiday season. And I'm pretty sure Bree's going to be joining me, so it's going to be even more magical. Until next time, cheers!